DragRace Central. I'm your host, Randall Shue.
I'm your co-host, Lance Shue.
Along, hey, we've got one of our regulars in with us. Go ahead and speak up.
Good morning out there in Radio Land. You got the one and only Fultondale Flash, Chris Rogers. Good morning.
The Flash. Chris, you know it's too cold outside to do any flashing this morning.
You got that right.
Shrinkage, bud. Shrinkage. Just remember shrinkage on a cold day like this.
I'm not going to argue with you. I didn't know if I was going to get up or not this morning.
I know you. I thought you were going to wimp out on me. I said, Chris, why don't you come on in? Look, it's kind of cold. And then, of course, hey, I was nice to you. I'll send Landon up here to crank your car for you.
Yeah, I told him I'd have the keys hanging out there on the front porch.
But look, I hooked him up. I got up, and I generally I wake him up. I went on. I was already ready. I went downstairs and fired the Suburban up, and turned my side seat heater on.
Oh.
And I didn't. He just had to do his own. But anyway, my seat was hot, and the thing was got in the thing. Man, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, I can't understand why y'all just didn't swing by and pick me up on the way in this morning.
We could have done it.
See, Landon didn't even think about that.
I sure didn't.
Well,
no. It'd have been nice and warm by the time you got to me.
Toasty.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Hey, about time I got full, I had to turn the heat down.
Really?
But we've talked. It's cold out, and it's there's no racing going on. There's nothing. But Landon and I experienced something brand new this morning.
What was that?
Well, we always talk about from our house to the freeway. It's about 5 miles ish. And we said, well, there's one car. There's we passed 2 cars. This morning, come around the corner, big bright light coming toward us.
Past a bicycle.
Guy on a bicycle with his LED light coming. Of course, traffic ain't a problem this time of day, but it's umpteen degrees, whatever it is outside. It's on a bicycle.
My goodness.
He had somewhere to be.
I guess. It was all I could do to sprint from outside the front door to the car. I felt like then I ran a marathon. So,
yeah. But this guy. Of course, the argument started whether this is somebody's pawpaw on a bicycle, or was a guy on them cute little shorts. I think it was a cute short guy.
No, I did not say pawpaw.
Now, pawpaw would have had a flashlight taped to his. This is a high-tech LED light.
This is when we began discussing whether it was a cyclist in the tight clothes and whatnot, or this was a drug user.
A meth head on the way somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Not right. Anybody out there this cold of the morning to.
It's one of the two.
I mean, you got to be half crazy just to come on this radio show at this early in the morning.
Hey, and it's warm in here. I think this weekend or maybe this weekend, next weekend, the hunting season is over. So there's a lot of guys out on the way doing their last killing Bambi of the year.
Yep.
Landon got him a raccoon last night.
Unfortunately, I did.
With his car.
Okay.
Got to put a bumper back together.
Peeled the plastic front bumper off of it. I said, well, how'd the raccoon do? He said, nah, raccoon ain't good.
It didn't recover.
If it did, I wasn't going to go back.
You go out and bring him back to life?
I don't think CPR work with a hit and run.
I was thinking of a hat, like a Davy Crockett hat there. But
there you go. You got your pistol with you. Go ahead and put him out of his misery.
This thing was probably 30 pounds. This is the biggest raccoon I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And I got to score with my car.
Well, that's
good
pretty
times.
Better than a deer, or worse than that is a pig.
Yeah.
The pig, won't go up over the windshield. They'll just crush the whole front of the car.
Right.
Hey, if you hit a deer, according to how you hit that deer can do some serious damage.
Growing up, we of course lived in Mount Olive. One of our neighbors, he had about a 54 Dodge Plymouth. I don't know. It's one great big old car. This boy stayed in trouble a lot, but anyway, he had his mom in the car, so his mom didn't take no crap off of him. Anyway, they were driving right. A horse run out in front of them, and of course, a horse being tall, the car clipped the front, clipped the legs out of the horse. Horse come in the car with him. It pushed the roof back. You know, a horse weighs what, 1,000, 1,400 pounds? I don't know.
3,000 pounds.
No.
About a ton and a half. It depends on the size of the horse.
Yeah. Hey, it don't matter. It peeled the roof back on it. Of course, fortunately, they didn't get hurt.
Yeah, luckily, because I know a deer will come on in the car with you.
Oh, yeah. You know, some of the guys down in South Alabama, in a body shop, 80 or 90% of what they do is deer repair. Don't repair the deer, they repair the car from hitting the deer.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I guess we've got all that mess out of the way.
Thought you saw me do an oil change in my deer.
A lube job.
Lube job.
That's it. We are a drag race show. The problem is it's in the high teens, low 20. I don't know. It's 20-something degrees, whatever it is outside. A little bit refreshing to be going racing. Even in South Florida, where I was 3 weeks ago, they were expecting freezing temperatures in Bradenton, Florida.
Well, they freeze around 60. You got to give them you know anything about that?
Can you imagine being out in that 300-acre field with the wind blowing about 30 miles an hour? It would take, the guy driving the car is all right because he's got a 5-layer fire suit and all this stuff on it. I saw Paul Gargas make a pass yesterday. It's on, is it Motormania TV? One of them is on. He took off and got down to about a couple 100 feet. The car came into a wheelie, and when the powers really started coming on, and did a big wheelie, lifted, got off of it, still went a 412.
Yeah, you watch those cars like that accelerate very, very hard off the line, and like you say, get out of it. They still run twice as fast as me and you are running right now.
Hey, you ever watch a Top Fuel car? They'll take off, and then it'll blow the tires and idle through. And that thing will run 640 at 65 miles an hour. 640 in the quarter? Boy, he was getting it that first few feet.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think we'll go back to what me and Landon was thinking about one day, and that is we just need to go up there to one of these buildings and just do an enclosed drag strip, right? What do you think about that, Landon? How much you think we could charge to get people to come in there and watch that?
We'd have to charge a lot for the ventilation system alone.
What about the heater?
No. You don't have to worry about the heat as much because it'll kill all your wind's gone due to being indoors.
Yeah. Just crank the cars up, cut the heaters on, roll the window down.
No, here's the real deal.
Now put a mask on.
Car temperature would bring the inside of the building up.
Hey, just roll the windows down, cut the heat on.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what we've done before.
Share the heat.
Yeah.
With exhaust turned downs on the bottom of the car. Lucky any of us are alive.
What we could do is get them Teslas and just line them all up on the sides of the walls, and we just roll the windows down on them and cut the heat on. See?
They wouldn't make any. Yeah, and we wouldn't need lights. Just turn the lights on.
Yeah.
There we go. You got to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get like 200 Teslas out. I don't know, but
make a phone call. They'll send you them to you. I promise.
Oh yeah, all you gotta do is write a big old check.
Yeah.
They're robbing trains over there in California now, so maybe we can just snag one of them trains that's got a train load full of them, just borrow them for a day.
Lend lease.
Yeah.
Well, the Metacraft buildings over in on Carson Road is big enough to do this.
I think we got a plan. We got a plan where we can race year round.
There's 5 buildings that I think they're 1,000 by 1,000 is how large these buildings are, and 3 of them in a row. Of course, Wheel and Rims is one of them because we couldn't run up in there because they got some stuff that's hard you'll hit.
Yeah.
But 2,500 feet, we ain't running but 600. So the boys, y'all need to get on the brakes pretty hard.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the investor for this?
Investors.
Yeah.
We just gonna squat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Squatters' rights. That's right. Yeah.
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 Ain't nobody notice.
All right. Right. Just like we did with Saturday night. We're in. We're out. Nobody knows. It's good.
Well, it's better to ask forgiveness instead of permission.
That's right.
I didn't know we couldn't do this.
I was just riding by.
Well, and that sounds funny. Landon's granddaddy had a business downtown.
Yeah.
And they closed up after 44 years. He closed his business up, and the building was sitting empty. Well, I was downtown one day I drove past it because if you're ever in town, you take care of properties and all. I went back, looked. There's a business open in this building. I thought, wait a minute, there's something right about this because it wasn't my business, but I know that it ain't right. So I called him. I said, "Who's in y'all's building?" He said, "Nobody." I said, "Oh yeah, there is too. There's somebody running a business in this thing." Somebody had gone in, picked the locks, whatever went in, and had power turned on, and were operating a business out of this. Well, he had 60,000 square feet in his building, and they had a little place set up in the front. Boy, they was just doing business like mad. So
I was going to say, did you go by and collect rent?
Man,
At that point,
think of the liability. Anyway, thank goodness I went by and saw it because one of the other part of the trust that thing was in, he went by and handled it.
Oh, okay.
He's his name's Ted. He don't have any filters at all.
Okay.
He closed it up really, really quick.
Well, anyway, we just do a Saturday night. We just charge everybody $25 to come through the door, and we got our indoor racing. We just need all the Teslas in the building.
Well, then at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center, they have monster trucks on the inside. And by the end of the night, if you're in the nosebleed section up in the top, that old alcohol stuff is pretty tough.
Yeah, it is, but it's fun.
Speaking of the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center, World of Wheels next weekend. We're excited about that.
Starting Friday of next week, we will be
on site. We're going to move in on Thursday, and it'll open up Friday. Is it 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock Friday? It opens up. We'll be there till closing, and after the show on Saturday, we'll go have some. We might do something special on breakfast next weekend.
Sweet.
A big bad breakfast.
Sounds like a plan.
We do. Have you ever been to that place?
Where?
Big Bad Breakfast.
No.
It's kind of like being at in Gatlinburg. It's over in Homewood. Interesting place.
Yeah, we had a lady from Make-A-Wish turn us on to that place on a Friday of a World of Wheels.
Yep.
And we'll be going since.
I thought, well, let's go check it out. And the breakfast for two people run you about $35. Kind of pricey, but it's pretty neat. So anyway, we'll be at the World of Wheels when it opens on Saturday morning. It opens, I think, at 10 o'clock or whatever the number is. We'll be there and
till we get tired.
Now you wimp out. I'll be there until closing time.
I don't know if you remember this, but every time this past years, you left the same time I did.
Oh yeah. Okay.
7 or 8 o'clock.
Yep. I'll try and be there, and I'll be signing autographs. Fultondale Flash. I'm not charging anything if you want to come by and get it.
Really?
This year.
How nice of you.
This year.
I'm charging. I got my Sharpie in my pocket. All right, guys, I hear music in the background. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on DragRace Central. World of Wheels. Now, something else with the show, we will be putting together a thing on Saturday afternoon, a meet and greet. Like our listeners to come in, and there's going to be a big group of us there. David Church is going to bring, he's got a 67 Camaro that was built, had to have been early 70s. This car was built as a race car and was never raced. This guy had two cars built. One of them, he beat it like a rented mule, and the other one never raced. And he bought the one that has never been raced. He said he'd been polishing on this thing for weeks. David's stuff would be nice.
You got about a couple more days to finish up yours? Throw it in there.
No. Ricky Jones is going to bring one of his gassers.
I told him, Lanta, I said, we need to put the Blue Thunder in there, and we need to put the Fultondale Flash. We need to have them like doing wheel stands, and like they're coming at you, and like flames.
And mine ahead of yours.
No. We'll make it just like it is at the normal racetrack. Mine about 4 foot in front of yours with a parachute hanging out of it.
You're going to have a wheelie and a parachute.
And flames.
And flames
coming out of it.
We get some of them little tassels and blow air out the exhaust.
Hey, he told me he was concerned about it leaking oil. I said, well, this is an easy fix. You are about leaking oil. He said, just drain all the oil out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a race car if it ain't leaking oil anyway.
Well, he said you put mirrors under it.
Well,
no, I don't need mirrors under mine.
We'll put one of them black shag carpets up under there. You'll never know it.
All absorbing shag carpet. Yeah, definitely need some of that.
I remember who's that guy who owned the Satan's Angels funny car? Ralph Bradford. You know, he had one of his cars up there, and he had a strobe light in the driver's seat. He put a fake driver in there, and he had a strobe light in there. He got a kick out of that. But, yeah, we could do that with, like, strobe lights, but coming out their exhaust and making it look like flames coming out of it.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be like a nitrous pass.
We need a nitrous pass.
Put some bull horns on the exhaust where they're up in the air like that, see?
Yeah, the problem with that is how you going to get them things in and out the trailer with bullhorns on it? The car end up wider than the inside of the trailer.
It's not important yet.
It's not important.
Detachable exhaust.
Yeah, detachable, like he said.
Yeah.
Pull a pin.
Yeah.
Pull a pin on that thing.
If
Wait a minute, that's
you
a
can pull
grenade
the
deal.
whole front end off of the thing, then why can't we just do the exhaust?
Yeah, just some sheet metal screws.
Zeus faster.
Some,
You know, when you're
heat and air.
desperate and it comes down to the moment that you'll do desperate things.
Those self-tapping, self-drilling, and tapping screws, them babies are pretty awesome.
That's right.
Zeus fasten it.
They are race car friendly.
Zeus, oh no, that's talking $2. You go over to M&D Supply, you for $2 and self-tapping screws, you can fill up the back of the truck.
Hey, when we're talking about the World of Wheels, some of the special guests are going to be there besides Randall. The other special guests will be there. You know who's going to be there?
Yes.
Who?
Eric Estrada and Kamikaze.
That's right. And when I get there, you know what I'm going to do? That's right. I'm going
You'll call him out.
Kamikaze. Calling him out when I get there.
I wonder if he's got his car fixed.
He'll have something up there, I'm sure.
It's a nice car. It's been a while since we've seen it.
So,
well, he wrinkled it up really bad.
Did
The El
he?
Camino.
Yeah.
That was when it Flip's car, one of the guys, but he wrinkled that thing up something terrible.
Ooh.
One of the things that we have noticed, that the No Prep Kings and the Street Outlaws, or the Sesame Street Outlaws, the whole works, is how many car wrecks they've had. They have torn up some.
Hey, speak of that, how is what's his name?
JJ.
Yes.
He got burnt pretty bad in the wreck with he and his wife. She hit a couple of parked rental cars. And I saw an interview. The reason the cars were there is there's a film crew behind them, and you got to have some way to protect your guys. They're standing there with a camera. How much protection do you have? But she hit one of them, and Trish is her name. Broke both her hips. It bunged her up pretty bad. But JJ did get burnt. He's all right. And they've got. Hummingbird is the car. That's what he called his car. They've got it up and operating again because they're out in Texas filming. Now, Zip Tie, it's been wrecked severely 4 or 5 times. Now, Trisha's had it on fire. She's flipped it. She's done it. And of course, I don't know if they keep rebuilding that car or have to start off with another one because she's tore up some stuff.
Hey, they said they'll put that car back together. They'll front half it back together, but.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's going to get back in that car or not. That's a question to be seen yet. But you're right. The Hummingbird, they patched the front end, got another front end, and repaired it, and got the motor.
And there looked like about 10 people working on it, and they had that thing put back together in no time.
And knocked the dents out of the back of it, and
Yep.
they had him going down the track or the street within a few days.
Now, I believe that car, he bought that thing from Axeman. I believe is who he bought it from. They were up at, I think, was it US 40 in Crossville, and he was testing that thing. He did put a helmet on. This is a 3-second 8th mile car. In his flannel shirt with no sleeves in it, running in the 3s.
And cowboy boots.
Of course. But if you'll watch him now, he is wearing the proper equipment.
Yeah, I think that got his attention. What do you bet?
Well, I hope so, because the burning thing, I don't know if you're familiar with the SFI on the suits. SFI 10 or a 5 is good for 10 seconds. 25 is good for 50 seconds. So it's 2 times what the number is. Because 50 seconds is a long time. What's the thing when you get your license? You have to close your eyes and get out of the car. And there's like 10 seconds or something. You got to be able to get out of the car. So that's 50 seconds is a long time to be on fire.
Things happen fast. I know I've got a double layer jacket I use usually whenever I'm in my car.
Yep.
Now my pants are just a single, but my jacket's a double layer.
Right.
And
this past year I bought gloves. I got a Hans device, and I'm going to buy a new suit this year. That's one of my major purchases because this stuff is supposed to be fun. The cars have gotten fast enough that you can get hurt doing this. And one of the good things about the real thick suits, it gives you some padding. So things go bad and you start tumbling down the track, you need something to kind of pad you a little bit, even though we're strapped in very well.
Yeah.
So that's a good suit's kind of expensive, but you know what? A couple nights in the hospital is too. So or not making it out of the hospital, not having to go, it's even worse. So we're used to taking him, but the Hans device, I wanted to make sure my head stayed attached.
Yeah.
That's what's funny is the guys come up there and you have to tell them put your seatbelt on. Well, I'm not going that fast. Well, if we learn to do it correctly, as you go faster, there's some things you don't have to learn because you're already used to the harnesses and all the stuff that you do. You're already used to that, and as you add speed, you don't have to worry about you getting used to that stuff too. So that's awfully important.
That's exactly right.
The Hans device, that is new. First put it on. You hook it to your helmet and put it on, and your helmet slides on. Well, I got strapped in. I couldn't tell if there was anybody in the lane beside me because you can't move. I thought, man, I don't know about this. Turns out there's adjustments. I put myself about another quarter or 3/8 of an inch. I can see if there's a car beside me. This will work. What you got?
Oh, I was going to say, as we were talking about safety and racing, and as we're getting older, we're all wanting to race as long as we can possibly get in the seat and race. Also at the World of Wheels, there's another special guest that's going to be there.
Uh-oh.
The F95 round track kart.
F95. I'm not familiar with that.
Red Farmer.
Oh, okay.
Red Farmer is turning 90.
Really?
And still racing. I mean, can you imagine that? Still crawling in a round track car racing. I mean, that guy's done something right.
Hey, and he's been having fun for a long time. Last year, tornadoes came through his neighborhood and a tree fell on his race car trailer and had a car inside the trailer. So he had some damage. The F95, I didn't realize that. I've been around him a bit. He wouldn't speak like but I have been around him a bit. And interesting character.
I see him come and go. Being in Hueytown a lot, where a lot of round trackers are there. I see him come and go out of there, but I was like, I just hope I make it to. I hope we get to live as long as he's raced, if you can imagine.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. All right, guys, I hear music in the background. We're going to take us a little bit of a break. We'll be right back on Drag Race Central.
Back into Drag Race Central. It's going to be brought to you by Ray's Drive Shafts, located at 1417 Decatur Highway in Fultondale, Alabama. Give a call down at 256-572-7485. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Get you a custom drive shaft made to your needs, your specifications. I know I came pretty close to just throwing in the towel and buying a drive shaft instead of buying the OEM parts for mine.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have to buy a part because Ray doesn't do the Gubo clutch deal. All right, let's go out to a caller. Good morning.
Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Well, we thought you had taken over the producer, wouldn't let her let us get back on the phone. I didn't know what was going on with you.
Well, hey, when you talk to a good-looking girl, you stay with it.
Yeah, but we got business to do here, and that ain't monkey. Hey, that's not monkey business. That's just business. Now, Chris is going to ask you a question.
Hey, Keith.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, Mr. Chris.
You don't know this, but I visit that little city you're in, Altoona.
Altoona, yeah.
I'm in there all the time, and I've stopped a couple of times over there. There's a famous barbecue place over there, and I was wondering if you've ever ate there. And it's called.
That's in Oneonta.
This one is called Racket Up Barbecue. Have you ever heard of that?
Not in Altoona.
Yeah, it's right there. It's across from one of the drugstores right there, right as you come off the interstate. It's got a round.
Whoa.
It's got a couple of round 55-gallon barrels out front that they barbecue in.
Only road it runs through Altoona is 132.
We'll have to look it up. Let me see.
If you get off interstate, there's no interstate in Altoona.
Well, it's
No.
it says it's on 3rd Avenue South, 3rd Street Northwest.
Huh.
Have you ever heard of it? Hey,
No.
This place ain't no bigger than a second now, so don't think if you're looking for the big lights or anything like that.
I've been here all my life, and I've never known that.
Did you know that they do the Monday Madness? For $1.50, you can get a pork sandwich all day long.
If it's here in Altoona, I'll find that sucking place.
You can get a pork sandwich for $1.50. Where can you get a deal like that, huh?
Hey,
You can't.
The old Jivy check, 5 for $1. Remember 5 barbecue for $1? You remember that, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what kind of meat was in things. It's some of that magic meat.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of pork they're using here either. But anyway, it was good. I got me some. I suggest go by there and get it. And that's give you a good reason to come up there and see, Keith.
If it's here, I'll get it. I'll guarantee you that.
It says 408 3rd Street Northwest, Altoona, Alabama.
408 3rd Street Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I'll call
It's
City
right there
Hall
kind of
and-
in the old section. There's kind of like an older section right there where a bunch of the older part of town is. There's a strip right there. It's right there by you.
Well, we learned all kind of cool stuff.
I go up there to Kelly's auto auction a lot of times too.
Yeah, no, I've been there millions of times. I wish they had $1 for every time I've been there.
So I pass by this place on the way there all the time.
Well, now, Keith, you know, you and I talked this week, and the World of Wheels is coming up. You know, Saturday afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. We're going to try to have a get together and everybody hang around our display. So make sure you come and visit with us and meet all the characters.
Well, we're going to try to. Me and John and Lemma and John's son-in-law, we're going to try to. If it ain't, I know it'll be me, John, and Lemma.
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll be there Saturday signing autographs too. The Fultondale Flash that outrun the Blue Thunder.
Hey, don't you listen to that? That ain't gonna happen.
Oh, I've been listening. Are you going to play as Bobby Allison?
Yeah, I may have to sign Bobby Allison's name again this year.
More like Ricky Bobby.
I think you're.
having his money for what he made in Talladega Nights now.
That's it.
Talking about that, Ricky Bobby's car is supposed to be at the World of Wheels this weekend.
That's
Ooh,
right.
Okay.
Me.
Well, I got a friend. His wife was right there in that movie. There in Talladega. Right there when, in the pits, they got into a fight. That red-headed lady walked by. She didn't say nothing. She just stood there and looked at him.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine. Very sweet lady. She works for the School of Blind down there. And, where they make stuff, she's the third highest in the office down there.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a beautiful lady for my friend Brian. Yeah. He got lucky.
Well, maybe he outkicked his coverage. How about that?
I can tell you some stories, but not on the air.
Yeah, I've got a few that doesn't need to make it that air also. And
yeah.
Most of the times I can't remember. It's been so dang long. And when I think about all that stuff, the only thing I can think of, there's an old song called "Precious Memories." Precious memories.
Yeah. Yeah. Has he seen you go by?
Yeah,
Pulling your parachute?
Yeah, that's what Chris is going to do. And I don't know about the parachute thing. Now I've got it packed, and I'm going to have to
I heard you
repack
talking about it. Yeah.
But whether or not it will deploy is a whole different deal. And I really need it to. I'm going to have to work on the brakes some this year too. You start putting the Google gas on it, the speeds can get real big.
Yeah, you need them brakes, that's for sure.
Brakes are for sissies. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Brakes are for quitters.
That's right. That's right. You don't need no brakes.
Yeah, and if you don't mash them and you ain't got them, you may be a quitter.
Well, you pull that baby in low.
Yeah, hey, that track's probably a mile long on the other end.
4,000 feet is what Laster Mountain is.
You got plenty of room to get one stopped. You can put your foot out and drag your foot down through there and get the car stopped.
They have to.
I've done that before.
Hey, Randall, we'll get Chris there to let me drive his car the next time he's there with it, down the track and see if I can stop it with my foot.
Come on, you can do it. Come on.
Now, Keith, I'm going to tell you something. Now, we crack on it and all that kind of stuff, but you just cannot imagine how hard these cars take off.
Oh, I know.
Holy smoke.
Hey, I tell you what, it'll get your attention on the other end when you start stopping them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't know how fast you're going until you try to stop. Good Lord, this thing's flying.
Yeah. You don't realize it as you're going down through there, but when you start stopping on the other end, you're like, hey, the turn is right there. I need to grab these brakes real hard. But
Keith, I was in Bradenton, Florida years and years ago. I had a 240Z Datsun. Stock front brakes on it. Of course, it had big brakes on back. But anyway, I went through the quarter mile, which, eighth mile is what we ran around here. But I went through the quarter mile, lifted, let off the gas, got on the brakes, and I began to whoa up. And, of course, brakes are not designed to stop from that speed. Brakes are, most brakes are designed to stop from 40, 50 miles an hour. That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm running, I think I went 144 miles an hour. So I got on the brakes, started to whoa the car down. When the first turnoff passed me, I'm running 100 probably. This ain't good. So then I began to 2-foot the brake pedal, and I'm up on holding the steering wheel, mashing the brake pedal, something terrible. Mm-hmm. There goes the second turnoff, and I'm running 80 probably. And I look up at the end of the track. There's 2 or 3 sections of chain link fence that I'm approaching way too fast. And I did the own thing. I just reached and pulled the thing down in low, and I was probably running 70 when I pulled it in low because the brakes had done gotten so hot. They weren't doing anything. I pulled it, and it started bouncing, and I got it stopped. I said, shoot, that wasn't that bad. I'll know what to do better next time. So the next pass I made, as soon as I went across the finish line, I nailed the brakes and then eased up on them, and I figured out how to do it. But when brakes get hot, man, they won't stop.
Yeah.
So I needed a parachute. But I didn't have one.
You got one now.
No, Chris, I wouldn't drive your car. I'd just let you take me down the track in it.
Come on, I'll do that. Come on.
Well, it'll be when the gassers come in, because I want to get to meet my little girl out.
Yeah, no, we won't have our cars there when the gassers there. They got a kind of a closed deal and nothing but gassers.
You cannot disguise my car as a gasser and come on in there?
You're going to need a straight axle, and it's a 67 and older.
I'm going to get me some fence pipe and just run across from one end to the other on the front end.
There you go. Fence pipe. PCV, Schedule 80.
We'll use Todd's car.
Yeah. The way I look at it is not what's in the rules, it's what's not in the rules when it comes to racing.
Well, that's the reason the rule book is so thick. You used to not need but 2 or 3 pages. Now they got like an encyclopedia. Because everybody said, nah, if it don't say I can't, obviously I can.
Yeah.
Who was it who said the Smokey Unick? He said, I'm the reason there's a rule book.
That's right. That works for me. Well, Keith, we appreciate you calling, and we'll talk to you next Saturday morning and hope to see you on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, well, I'll call you during the week to talk to you just a little. When would be a good time to call you, morning, night, or what?
Hey, look here, I work 2 hours a week, and I don't get up early, and I don't stay up late. Up in the middle of the day works really good.
Around lunchtime.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
I want you to know that's what he does. He spends the day figuring out where he's going to go eat. So
Well, somebody got to do this. And best I can tell you, Keith, it don't stink to be me.
Yeah. Okay.
How about that?
and
Yeah.
Rack It Up Barbecue, Atula.
Altoona, Alabama.
Altoona, Alabama. Look them up. Some good barbecue and some good people in there. Leave a tip.
Well, if I can't remember it when I see you Saturday, I'll get you to write it down.
I sure will.
Well, sounds good, Keith. We'll talk later.
All right, y'all take care, gentlemen.
Bye. Landon, was you gonna say something?
Yes, VP Racing Fuel. Vaseline Petroleum.
Nope. That's not what it stands for.
So it's Vaseline.
Volatile products. VP.
If you say so.
You know, this time of year, what I've noticed.
I thought it was very important. Very important person.
Yeah, that's VIP. That's when you're a VIP. One thing I've noticed this time of year, hanging out at Gardendale Performance, the types of fuel have changed. The 110, they're moving a bunch of 110, and the CNX 85, the E85 type deal, and a lot of 110. Your nitrous guys and all that kind of stuff. You know, they're not using much of it this time of year. So you see an X16 and you see C23 not moving a lot of it, but the 110 is still moving out like mad.
That's right.
Guys are buying 1 or 2 pails at a time. It has gone up. Everything. A 5-gallon 110 is $80 now. How about nitrous oxide has gone up also? It's now $8 a pound.
I told him it's a good thing it doesn't weigh a lot. You know.
You hear that?
What does a full bottle weigh? Like 20 pounds?
25.
Right. See?
But there's only 10 pound of product in it. It's a 15-pound bottle that you add.
That's a good point.
That you add 10 pounds. $80 to fill up your nitrous tank.
Here's where it makes sense. All of a sudden, as we're talking, I'm thinking a blown big block on alcohol.
Yeah.
No nitrous.
No nitrous.
Methanol's cheap.
Alcohol's cheap. $200. I think it's about $200 for a drum.
Of course, you're going to go through it pretty quick, but
yeah, but it's what's that? Couple dollars a gallon.
Mm-hmm. $3 or $4 a gallon for it already prepped with the top lube in it.
Yeah.
Way cheaper than racing fuel, and go just as fast.
Oh yeah, it's serious stuff.
I like it.
Of course, there's a little bit of maintenance involved in it. You can't just leave it in the basement for 3 weeks, hadn't touched it. You must do something. All right, music in the background. We're going to go out and take a break. We'll be right back on DragRace Central. Welcome back in to DragRace Central. This is Saturday, January the 29th. Cold as crap outside. That's my weather report today.
Hey, you talking about getting all these signatures, Chris? I know the guy who can sign for Bobby Allison.
I'm him.
Is it?
And I didn't do it on purpose. The story,
Some
of you guys haven't heard this story.
He didn't set it up. He
I didn't do this on purpose. I was totally innocent. We were at the World of Wheels. Bobby Allison was there signing autographs, meeting his adoring fans. We were across the aisle from him, but you had to go past our stall all the way to the west end of the building, do a U-E, come all the way back up. So there, the
300-person line.
The line was 300-400 feet long. I don't know, it's a long line.
A lot of people.
So I was talking to one of our listeners, and I was just talking, and somebody said, "Hey, this guy wants your autograph." Okay. So he had a car that he had bought and wanted my autograph. So I keep a Sharpie in my pocket, of course. I mean, duh. I signed my name to the front of his car. And then he began to tell me that he used to go to the fairground and watch me race. I thought, uh-oh, he thinks I'm Bobby Allison. And Bobby was across the aisle from us. He wasn't 30 feet from us. And all these people in line, and this guy was thinking I was Bobby Allison.
He saw that huge line, and he was at the.
He was at the end of the line. He didn't know he was at the wrong end.
Right.
So I signed I signed my name to the front. I believe it was a red Corvette, like a 71 Corvette die-cast car.
It sure was.
So we were sitting there talking. He said, "Will you sign this for my wife?" Had a card or something, and I thought, I signed Bobby Allison did.
Man, he don't look nothing like Bobby Allison. I want you to know that. That guy must have been blind.
I think he was a bit starstruck, and so was his wife.
Oh,
So
they were starstruck.
For context,
Bobby Allison was talking to them individually.
for context, this man walked up originally asking, "Where's Bobby Allison?" And a friend of ours was sitting behind my dad. And, well, she's just like, "Yeah, he's right there," pointing past my dad over his shoulder at Bobby Allison. Well, like you said, he must have been blind, because then he began to talk to my dad about how excited he was meet him and all that stuff. I'm just like, nobody's as excited to meet my dad. Nobody.
Everybody. Hang on, Landon. You hear this?
I didn't hear what. Repeat that.
Nobody
again. Repeat
wants
that
to talk
again,
to my
Landon.
dad.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. This man was
You-
starstruck.
and I got a breakfast on top of that.
Yeah, this man was starstruck. I'm just like, I was like, oh, he thinks he's Bobby.
No, wait a minute now, Chris. There's more to this story. Now he brought up. You know, he's the one who brought up starstruck. We had this model who was in our area. Her station was right where you come in the room we were. Well,
it was a funny story too.
Smoking hot, college co-ed, 22, 3, girl. Well, she came over and she said, "Hey, can I take a break?" Well, yeah, you've been working hard. Take a break. She thought she worked for us. So
Hopefully she's going to be back this year.
No. This is the best part is.
So she came back.
Well, let me
Go ahead.
I know what you're going to say, but let me add on to that. The best part was, so we had our own flyers that we were trying to give away for, I forgot what they said or whatnot. I know it had something to do with Make-A-Wish that we were working with that year.
Whatever we was doing.
So we had all these flyers to get rid of, and Deidre had the genius idea. She was just like, you know how we can get rid of all these flyers? We get her to pass them out. Everybody will they'll grab 3 of them from her. So this woman who doesn't work for us began to work for us and didn't even know it.
So
Hopefully she got breakfast at the end of the shift.
Oh, she.
I'd have bought her a house.
Yeah, she was a traveling model.
Yeah, that's what she did.
Yeah.
Hey, at first class, there was nothing going. Anyway, she was. If I say real easy to look at, I'm being kind. She was in the correct job.
We say that easy on the eyes.
Oh yeah, arm candy. That's when you walk in. She got hooked around your arm. Oh yeah, there we go. Whole hands in Walmart kind of girl. Anyway, she came over and she said something. I said, "Hey, you've been working entirely too hard. You want to come in here and sit down and rest a little bit." So she came in there where we were and sit down. Landon couldn't even talk. She was right there close to him. He was like,
She was real easy on the eyes.
poor Landon couldn't even talk. So a little while, she said, "Hey, do you mind I'll go get something to eat?" "No, I'll take you a long break." Yeah, we don't even know who this girl is.
Yeah.
We was her buddies out there. Of course, she was leaving there going to Florida State is where she went to college. And she was a communications major.
Yeah, she was going to like the yacht
Fort
show.
Lauderdale boat show.
Boat show, yeah.
That's what she was going to.
Yeah, that was it was an interesting year. To be fair, it was that year. There you go, that one. It was that year. Make-A-Wish Foundation's great. Like, it's a good cause. I never want to work for them again. That was a stressful year.
We sold tickets at the end of the night. Hey, who we give this money to? You know, I don't want their money, and it got to be
substantial.
There was hundreds of dollars. I'm not going to be responsible for it.
And this was overnight, because when I had gotten there, the Make-A-Wish lady that was that we were working with was kind of like informing me of how to do all this stuff.
And she left.
Didn't see her again
until Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
and you know, thinking I'm responsible for all that money.
And then when that was just Friday, and then Saturday, you know, the busiest day, It got up into the thousands.
And I'm gonna be. I tried to give it. I think we finally gave it a whole, and then he gave it back to us the next morning.
Yeah.
The whole deal.
Yeah.
No.
Well, a lot of times they're not. You're not dealing with the total organizations. A lot of times they just put people in there, and
But the woman left.
yeah.
She came back Sunday, all bubbly. Oh, where's my money?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Well, again, Make-A-Wish does a lot of good things, and
They did.
And sometimes they may not have the exact right people to try and run the areas, but again, Make-A-Wish is a good foundation.
Oh, yeah.
They
Oh,
do
really,
a lot
really
for the
does.
kids.
It was
And,
the girls the one I was ill with. You know,
Yeah.
somebody needs to be here to take his money because I'm not going to be responsible.
I was just stressed out holding on to that much money that wasn't mine, and that they fully expect all of it.
Yeah.
And we want them to have it.
Yeah, like I want them to have it.
Well, maybe the next go around we'll have a little better plan if Make-A-Wish comes back around. But that being said, let's get ready. I can hear some music in the background.
I guess we better take a break.
It don't sound like
Take us
handbagging
out
music,
of
but-
here, Chris.
Hey, rock and roll. It's headbanging music we got again. So, hey, holler at us. We'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back in to DragRace Central. It's 7:03 on this beautiful Saturday morning. Is it beautiful? Nah, it's daylight anyways. Cold as crap outside. January the 29th. Our weather report is if you bring the dog in and he's shaking, it's cold. If his tongue is hanging out, it's hot. If he's shivering, it's cold. If he's wet, it's raining. That's a weather dog. You know that?
That's,
Weather dog. That's right.
yeah, our dogs run in and run out, run back in. That's what they do now. Unless they can find a stick. It looks like if they find a stick out there,
The rain's okay.
yeah, they don't care. They run around that yard with them sticks playing tug of war.
Well, you know, you mentioned some headbanger music. 3 Dog Night. Landon, you know what a 3 Dog Night is?
I do not.
The Indians, it was going to be really cold. They'd bring 3 dogs in and get them warm. That's the 3 Dog Night.
I thought that was a rock band.
It is, but 3 Dog Night, that's where it comes from. So if it's not very cold outside, you know, you don't need but 1 or 2 dogs. But 3 Dog Night, buddy, it was a 3 Dog Night last night.
Yeah, we're short of dogs, so
Which I now live in a place that has heat, so I'm pretty happy with that.
No, that works. Yeah, we don't have a wigwam
Yeah.
or a teepee.
Oh no! Remember that last house I was renting didn't have heat. I had to use heaters.
Oh yeah, wasn't a whole lot of heat. You've actually got one that's got real heat in it now.
Yeah, HVAC. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Pretty good.
And hey, last night he's complaining about how high his bill was going to be. He's going to turn it down. He's got icicles inside the house because he's afraid the bill's going to be high.
I'll turn that heat off. I am not scared.
Yeah. This adult thing has hit him hard. You mean they want you to pay this bill?
Yeah, that's all of a sudden when you having to start paying the bills, you realize, hey, wait a minute.
And
now.
it turning the lights off when you leave a room.
Everything your dad did, you're gonna start doing.
Holy smoke! And there's a reason. You mean what?
Yeah. That's that. What's that commercial where when you're becoming your parents?
Oh, that is funny. Because it happens, and every now and then the things your parents did actually kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, World of Wheels. That's something that, we need to hit on that hard because that is our really the start of the car season. The racing. If you hadn't got your car up and operating with all the new parts in by the time the car show comes, you're running late.
You get a month.
Yeah,
You get a
because
month. I'm sorry. You got 2 months from our first race.
really,
February, January, March.
remember, no, January is done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But you got February because March 4th and 5th, the first race at the mountain is scheduled. Chris, you've got some. Stuff on the schedule over there. You can tell us about that.
Yeah. So Laster Mountain, like you said, doing their first race as a Laster Mountain street fight. So that's kind of the old style type no prep racing. So if any of you guys, you see it on TV, they do it there at Laster Mountain. That's on April the 16th. So that's their
April. Now what is it? March the 4th and 5th or something up there. Anyway, there's one. Hey, was it when we get closer? We'll tell you exactly.
That is, you're right, and that is one on there too. So
Yeah.
I'll go back and find that
They
one.
try to do one a month, and if you hadn't had an opportunity to go up see them, they do an outstanding job. Clifford does that thing, and he does a great job. The big difference in this and what you see on TV, nobody's mad at each other. We're all just up there having fun, and a bunch. There's 300 or 400 of your closest friends. They're doing that, so that's a lot of fun. Now we don't have any information on the Gardendale Performance 205 yet. Whether what Jimmy's going to do, probably, if I were guessing, probably in April it'll start. Because in March it's so bad about getting things rained out, cold out. Here we are. We've made it through January with some pretty good weather. February can be whatever. The largest snowstorm we've ever had was the 12th of, I believe it was the 9th or 12th of March. I believe 12th of March in 92 or 3, whatever that was, and 18 inches around here.
Right, the weather.
And then it got cold.
It's very unpredictable, so we have to work around that. But that ain't gonna stop the Fultondale Flash and the Blue Thunder doing our match race.
I'm gonna put mud grips. No, snow tires on mine.
No, my car will hook in the rain. So
mine will hook in the car wash in the mud. I'll pull mine in after somebody's cleaned out a horse trailer. Mine will still hook up.
So I'm not gonna worry about it. It can be 20 degrees out there with snow on the ground. My car still outrun you, Randall Shoe. So
God, dog, this is. And I was thinking about, I found a car up in Kentucky for sale. I was thinking about going up and getting this thing. Chris, it's a bracket car, runs 450s.
Okay.
It's got a big old motor in it.
You need to go get it. That's all I got to say.
450 the bracket car is stroking, bud.
It is. Dragster's pretty common, but door cars,
you're in some rare air. But the problem with bracket cars, it runs 450. It don't pay more than it did when you was running 650. Still pays exactly the same to win.
Talking about that, some of the tracks coming up also in the next few months. Looks like Steel up there is doing a 6.0, 7.0, 530, 470 heads-up race.
Yes.
So that's on March the 4th and 5th. And then Huntsville's doing one a couple of weeks later. It's the 17th through the 19th. Same scenario, 6.0, 7.0. 530 and a 470 class. But you're right, some of these classes pay the same. Doesn't matter how fast you go.
Right. In bracket racing, it doesn't matter how fast you go, as long as you'll do it every time.
Yeah.
But I don't know the idea, but the dragsters are dialing 390s. We were up at Steel. It's been 2 or 3 years ago. There's a dragster with a blower on it. Took off. It got out about 100 or so feet. Front wheels were 8 feet off the ground. It like to flipped over. There's a woman driving it. She lifted, and the front wheels hit the ground, but that car sure wrinkled when it hit. And I don't think it hurt it, but it hit hard. That's the first time I've ever seen a dragster with the front wheels that in a bracket type car.
Really?
Hey, it was way up there.
Got her attention.
She just about messed up because another a few tenths of a second, that rascal been on the roof.
Yeah. I bet the next thing that was coming out of her mouth was Willie bars.
Oops.
Willie bars.
Yeah, and those are important. Or not sissy bars. Just keep you take a. As a matter of fact, I've got to put mine back on my car. That's going to be when you start leaving hard. I'm looking for some 110s or 110 60 foots.
You're going to need that to outrun me, that's for sure.
Well, I'm really after going to outrun a fast car. That's what I'm after.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Oh, well, you got to have a plan. Well, I was up at PTC a couple of weeks ago getting my converter. Kenny says, "No, what you gonna do with this car?" I said, "Now, Kenny, if I win the lottery, I'm gonna buy a complete top fuel operation. I'm going to test and tune Wednesday night in Alaska Mountain in my top fuel car." He said, "Yeah, I know that." So I'm gonna be a top fuel test and tune.
There you go. Hey, anything for excitement? Hey, Randall, won't we rename your car the Blue Flame? What do you think about that, Landon? Blue Flame.
Blue Flame. Landon didn't like
What about
my.
the flying triangle?
He did not like my. I was gonna call it white privilege, and he didn't like that
Flying triangle.
flying triangle. That back end is kind of odd.
Yeah, it's a triangle.
It's a picnic table.
Hey, City Auto Sales.
That's we're going to talk about City Auto Sales.
That's right.
That's where I'm not going to say Chris works there. That's where Chris gets a check from.
I hang out down there and they pay me, and it's a good situation for both of us. So I like that.
For one of you, anyway.
Yeah.
For you. No, I'm just messing with you.
It's a great family there.
That's great.
I love it down there. It's a very friendly and a very family-run place. You won't find no better place of a group of people to go to and work with. They are actually hiring in different positions. Go on their website, and they got some different positions coming up, and a great family atmosphere there. You couldn't find a better group of people to work with.
Oh, that's great. Where are they? Is it 3075
Allison Bonnet
Bonnet Drive?
Memorial.
From memory. I did that from memory, Chris.
You did good. They're in the old Neil Bonnet Honda building. You go down there and see there. Hueytown's a big racing group of people there. We've got a wide variety of cars on hand there. And it's from anything you can look for. And your racers, if y'all looking for a new dually truck or a 3/4 ton truck to pull your trailer with, we've got a wide variety of them there.
Well, that's great. So this time the way the trucks have been, so you'd have a decent selection of trucks.
I think we've about captured everything in the southeast. I've not seen so many trucks on our lot.
Oh, that is great.
And anything you can think of, anywhere from a half-ton work truck all the way up to the 1-ton dualies out there. And some of these trucks we haven't carried were the work trucks where they don't have a bed on them. They've got the
Cabin chassis
set up on them. We've got some of those. Anything you could think of, they're there. Chevrolet, Fords, Dodges.
That's neat. Whatever flavor you like.
Our I like to think they do financing there, trade-ins there. So give them a little call or look them up on Facebook or on the website. The worldwide headquarters is there. We like to think, hey, come down there. We'll get you off your feet and we will put you on your seat.
Hey, now we're looking for a Geo Metro. Can you hook us up?
Yeah.
No. Actually, I just need a pawpaw car.
A Geo Metro pop
Yeah, Metro.
Yeah.
Because I know if you have a 4-door LeSabre, first thing you got to do is go to the buffet. All 4-door LeSabres go to the buffet.
No.
You ever notice that? And it'd be that old goldish color.
They only made it one color.
Coffee.
Goldish color, brown, whatever it is, and you go to buffet.
It's coffee.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Coffee colored.
Yep. He's
My
he's
mom
looking for
always got
number.
one. My mom's got one of those cars, by the way, and I have to drive it every once in a while.
Hey, and we crack on them, but you're talking about a smooth piece to ride in. Fuel mileage is good, power's good. It's now
It's
you got to go to buffet.
I drove one for several months.
Yeah, you did. So anyway, I got to find me a pawpaw car.
They've got them there.
He's looking for a number 2 box.
Yeah.
Number 2 box.
Number 2 box. I think about even a Chevy Spark.
We've got them. There. Come on down and see us. J.E. is there also. He is one of the guys who does a lot of the selling down there and financing. There's nothing there. We probably couldn't get you in our seat, get you going. And we have access probably another lot. It's probably got close to 300 cars on it.
Okay. We're going to go out and take a break. We'll be right back on DragRace Central. Chris, we talk about our buddy Sid Dingler. We buried him last Sunday. He did pass away of COVID, complications due to COVID. But we lost him. Sid would be in March. Would be 64. He and I we shared the same birthday month, same year. And we finished high school together, and actually started in 9th grade is when I met him, and we've been friends for all these years. And man, that's been some time. I've been out of school 40-something years. Looks like I'd learned something. But anyway, but we lost Sid, and he's going to be missed. In one of our Gardale Performance 205 racers. He drove the '68 GTO. So he's at that thing since. Trying to think. Probably 78 or 9 is when we found that and a 394 speed Fairlane in some people's yard over in New Georgia. New Georgia is Lewisburg Gardens, and New Georgia is in between Fultondale and Birmingham. In the Birmingham area, there are 99 named communities. So New Georgia is one of them. We found it in the yards. I bought the Fairlane, and Sidney bought the GTO, and he still had his. The Fairlane been gone 200 cars ago. So I'll swap cars in a heartbeat. Also, Johnny Powell, our hub saver guy. He hadn't called in several weeks. Who you got?
That is Todd on the phone.
Okay. And anyway, he's been sick, and also Philip Lavoie. We need to talk with Philip. He's struggling, and hope he gets better. So Philip, if you're listening, and Miss Nikki, his daughter, and hope you get better. Let's go out to a caller. Good morning.
Yeah, my caller number one. I want to guess that band that just played that song that you guys didn't know.
Do it.
That'd be the Doobie Brothers.
Doobie Brothers.
Ding, 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 ding. You want this hardly used ink pen?
Pretty
there you go. I'll be up and pick it up sometime soon. Soon as everything clears up.
I'm gonna pay you as soon as my brother straightens out. He ain't had that hump about 15 years.
Yeah, Randall, I heard you mentioning Johnny Powell. We had our Southeast Gasser Association banquet and award ceremony this past weekend, and I noticed Johnny wasn't there, and I talked to Quayne Stott, and I noticed Johnny's been sick, and also his mom had passed away during all this time, and it's really been a tough time for him, and I hate that for such a nice man and such a good family and a huge supporter of our racing organization. Yes. He's actually one of the sponsors that has followed through, did what he's supposed to do, pays you at the event for your contingencies. Just a quality human being, and I tell you, it's nice to have somebody like that to deal with. So my thoughts and prayers definitely go out to he and his family. They definitely good people.
The last information I had, he's going to try to be at the World of Wheels with us.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Because that not only is he a good guy, he's selling a good quality product.
Oh yeah,
that helps people, and it's a reasonable price product. It's it's made right here. It's just a good success story that you're happy to talk about. It's kind of goes back to like what Chris was talking about a minute ago about working at City Auto Sales. When you came to me and talked about another car sponsor coming home, you notice I didn't hesitate for 1 second to say heck yeah when it's Ken McFarland or Mr. Joe McFarland or anyone like that that's such a quality car dealer. I'm more than happy to join in and have somebody else come on, because there's enough room in this market for everybody, especially a good family-run business like that reminds me so much of our own, and I see Ken and his dad quite regularly, and Ken's one of my best friends in the world, and his wife Sherry's good friends with my wife Gina, and it's just there's room in this market for everybody, especially people that do it right like they do.
Well, that's when I came to you, and I would never do something on top of another sponsor. And you've been such a great deal in the Drag Race Central family. I certainly wouldn't do anything to hurt that.
And Todd, real quick, and I've tried to put the bug in his ear, and I said, Todd, he runs that gasser. Yeah, it would be real neat if I could get Ken in one of those cars.
I agree.
You think
I had talked to Ken a long time ago. He had gone to some race, and they had like a nostalgia round track deal going on, and I said, Ken, let me tell you something. You better be careful, because if you get off into that, you'll dive off into it and not come back up for air.
I tell you, competition and trying to win is very.
Once you've ever raced, it's in your blood forever and forever. And he was into it super big time at one time. So But anyway, yeah, we're hard at work. I'm on the way to the dealership right now. Of course, I have also had COVID this past week, and I've been at home the whole entire week. And I'm just going to go in for a minute, pick up some paperwork, and head back out. I'm not coming back into the office till Monday. I'm perfectly fine. I'm just going through the protocols. I don't want to be blamed for making anyone else sick or anything like that. You know, it's just it's actually been a nice week of relaxation at home, but it's driving me crazy. So I haven't come down here early before everybody gets here this morning, and pick up some paperwork and sign some checks and just get some things taken care of.
You talk about being at home and the relaxation. It's got to be worse. I mean, the phone don't ring 900 times, but you can't be there and put your finger on everything like you need to. It just runs you nuts.
It absolutely drives me insane. I've tried so hard to relax this week, and I have got some good rest. But you know, I mean, this is my life. This business is my baby,
yes,
and I love it. You know, I love what I do. I love the opportunity to take care of people. I love the opportunity to sell good vehicles, to help people that need financing that can't get it anywhere else. You know, I mean, I think we provide a service that people need. You know, they're people that we're their only chance to get to work.
Yeah,
because
and how
of the
about
financing that we have? Yeah.
Not only, and you know, your customer's wonderful. Your other employees become part of the family.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, you know, it sounds like a cheesy cliche, but I mean, hey, I love all these people and all their families. And it's important to me to take care of them, and they're my livelihood also. I know if I do a good job taking care of them, that they're also going to help me make the money that it takes to take care of my family and to be able to race.
Hey, and mainly, we got to, if we had to pick up aluminum cans, we got to pay your bills. But the race part—that's the hard part.
That's exactly right.
Give me some aluminum cans, man.
That's it. But hey, we're hard at work trying to get our race cars ready. Our season starts March the 12th at Reynolds, Georgia, Silver Dollar Motorsports Park down in Reynolds, Georgia. So it's getting close to us. And you know, this year I think Laster Mountain is the third race on the schedule in May. So
May 7th, yeah.
Yeah. So we're it's fastly approaching, and I mean it is on top of us. And we've got two race cars torn all to pieces down here. So we're hard at it getting going.
Todd, is your son going to be doing any racing this year?
He is. He's going to I mean, we're going to do all we can to get him to every race. At his age, it's a little tougher. You know, he's a young teenage boy that's chasing all these pretty girls, and sometimes that chasing those girls, in his mind, may be more important than chasing this championship.
Hey, it'll fog your memory. That's for dang sure.
But the chase is on. Let me say that.
No doubt.
We're definitely going to have him a car ready. Rick Pennington's finishing up his little what we call a mule motor. We're going to run it this season and let him get a little bit more seat time in. We've got him now where he's not missing any gears anymore and not stretching those rods and checking those valves. So, well, once we get him past that, then he'll start making some rounds. And then if he shows the investment at a time and loves it as much as I know he's going to, then what we'll do is we'll build him a for sure motor that'll compete for a championship. But right now we're gonna get him a car that he can learn to drive in, that he'll have a lot of fun with, and it'll be a top tier car. I mean, it's not going to be something that's going to be running back.
You're right. You need a mule motor to kind of learn off of, so you're not.
That's exactly right. Something good and strong. It's a GM steel block, GM steel head,
right.
And we're going to try to just make the car as light as possible to keep from breaking more parts than necessary, because it's going to be a little high RPM car no matter what we do.
Exactly.
And, it's something that's going to operate from 7,000 to 9,000 RPMs on a normal basis. And so
awesome. Them things scream. Oh, good Lord, those things, they wind up.
Hey,
and I promise you, he don't have any preconceived notices that he's got to be at any particular RPM. When I hold my thumbs up, that just means bring them RPMs on up. And that's all he knows. So he can hold it down. So,
exactly. Hey,
he don't have any bad tendencies that I have to break. All he's got to do is just mash on it.
Well,
and don't lift.
Hey,
don't lift. Shift.
That's right. Well, Todd, we appreciate it. We got music.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you much.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
We're going to go out and take a break. We'll be right back on DragRace Central. Welcome back in to DragRace Central. You know, Chris, we were talking about of course, Todd just called in and talked about the gassers, and they're using some very, very good parts. And we've talked about the old Muncies and the Borg-Warner Super T10s, the Rock Crusher.
He mentioned something else about not having to break any bad habits of his son driving.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed you never said anything like that to me as well. And the reason is because you had no one to blame but yourself.
I know it.
You're the one who taught me how to drive.
Of course.
So it'd be your fault if I had any bad habits.
Now I made it where you could go down the road and not hurt anything. You developed some habits that are they're yours. You're 25. It ain't on me anymore. And I know that's not grammatically correct, but it ain't on me anymore. I can just shake my head now.
Oh yeah. You're like, I can't believe he does the exact same thing I did.
Oh well, that happens.
Yep.
I had been out. I'm out with my dad. I guess I was 15. I'm in the truck. I'm driving, and we come around. Matter of fact, right by the First Baptist Church in Mount Olive, and we come around, and a car turned in front of us. I nailed the brakes and went hard right and went up kind of in the. Of course, Daddy braced. We didn't have seatbelts on. I'm driving. He braced up like we go hit something. So I escaped, and he said, "How'd you know do that?" I said, "They wasn't nothing over there. We was about to hit something. I ain't hitting them things." He never questioned my driving after that. I said, "Dad, I'm paying attention. I've been on a motorcycle. Them people run over you.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention." Of course, we was in a 66 1-ton pickup truck. We'd have tore them cars up, but it would hurt us on top of that. But I escaped, and he didn't question my driving after that.
So you're just reacting. So.
You have to.
That's all you can do.
He said, "Where'd you learn to do that?" I said, "Well, Daddy, you taught me to drive. You taught me not to hit nothing." Oh, okay. So it worked out pretty good.
Good.
So that we talked about the cars in the '60s and how interesting it was. Really, you and I started racing when the class racing had just about gone away. Of course, in NHRA there's still class racing, but as far as local stuff, it went away in the late '70s. There was a 57, 58 Ford came up. He is doing, did a big old burnout, and dry hops were a big thing at that time. Remember at the mountain we were sitting, the track was kind of in a hole, and there were banks up on both sides. Well, there was some of us sitting on it would be the pit side. This 57 did him a burnout, boy. It was a 4-speed car, and he did him a dry hop. When he pulled up to the line, he ran this baby up way faster than you're supposed to turn any forward. When he dumped the clutch exploded, knocked chunks out of the concrete, and there were debris came up inside up on the bank with us. Everybody had to escape. Of course, obviously that was the end of the run for the car. They had another one, a Barracuda. Is it Cuda or a what was the other one? Challenger. Is it a Cuda or Challenger? It was a 4-speed car. Did him a burnout, and when the tires caught, this is when everybody had the great big old tires and didn't have fender wheels or wasn't tucked or anything. When they caught, the U-joint trunnion jumped out under the car and was still spinning about 2,000 RPM. That thing got to scratching off.
Like a top?
Yeah, and then it went over and got the grass and took off up in the stands.
But wasn't that though fun back when you thought the more burnouts you did, the better the tire was going to hook. Remember,
and the more dry hops.
The more dry hops you did, there'd be 2, 3, 4 of them things they would do before they go down the track. And now we kind of know that's not so much the thing to do nowadays. It's more just to see if it's going to hook or not now. Yeah. But
the quality of tires and the technology and learning more and more about how 4-link works, or ladder bar, or even the stock suspension stuff, getting the angles correct. We learn more and more as we go along.
I wanted to touch on a story. So we're talking about going out into the 70s, trying to transitioning into the bracket racing. Before all that happened, I remember as a kid, and me and David Merrill would hitchhike a lot of times to the track, or we'd get one of our parents to drop us off the track before we could drive. And another way we would get up there, we would catch somebody we know racing to come by and pick us up. We'd be on the side of the road by our house. You just pick us up, and we'll ride to the track with you, and we'll figure out a way to sneak in or whatever. Or we had our dollar to get ourselves in with. And I don't know. Do you remember Don Mitchell out of Gardendale?
Yes.
Transmission builder. You know, back in him and David Merle's brother, Mike Merle, and one they called Beaver. They had an old Chevelle, 66 Chevelle, big block, turnaround, 4-speed car. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Me and David would have to slide under there. We didn't have we were small, so we didn't have floor jacks, right? We had to slide up under that car when we got to the track, take the mufflers off of it. That's what they did. We crawled under there. You know, it wasn't that high off the ground. We'd slide up under there and take the nuts off of it.
Hush thrush.
Yeah.
Hush thrush mufflers.
And pull the mufflers off of them, and they'd go race all night long and have a fun time. I remember there was a 4-speed car, and I remember one night this guy with a GTO shows up, stock looking GTO, the old 389 3-deuce car, 4-speed. He's up there with his son, and they were running all night. Well, these two, Don and them, started picking on the GTO. It was coming down the end of the night, and they were doing this grudge racing thing, and the guy didn't want to run them. It was a stock looking GTO with some slicks on it. That's all he did. Drove up there and put some slicks on it. And they ran the end of the night. And I said, oh, man. I said, Don Mitchell's going to crush this guy. That GTO beat him. I could not believe that. But anyway, me and David Merle had crawled back under that car that night to get a ride home. Put the mufflers back on.
You paid for your ride?
Yeah. Good times there. But you just never know on some of these racing. So just because they look like they're not anything, you never know what they got under the hood.
Well, that's the sleeper thing. I used to like to do that.
Yeah, it's fun times though, and like I say, you just never know. And nowadays they go out of their ways to make these cars look like sleeper cars. So just
remember the hidden nitrous kits.
Oh yeah.
They put them up under the intake. You raise a hood, you couldn't tell.
See, I ran one of those in one of my Camaros. I got beat by everybody in that '84 Camaro, and ICE had a hidden kit you could buy, and it put all the solenoids on the backside by the distributor. It hid it back around there, and I went by and got one of those kits on there, and I think it was 125, 150 horse kit, and I went back and found I didn't see you back in, so I didn't outrun you. So you got me there, but I went back and outrun everybody that outrun me back there on the streets with that kit, and everybody would ask me what I did, and I tell them I had me one of them hyper chips in there.
Yeah, remember? Oh, hyper chip. Oh yeah. You could. Oh, how about this? Stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3 hyper. Hyper tech.
It's probably the same thing. They were just pricing another $50 for each one of the stages.
Yep. Hey, we got our friends out there at Ray's Drive Shafts. Ray's Drive Shafts located at 1417 Decatur Highway in Fultondale, Alabama. Give them a call in at 256-572-7485. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Get your drive shafts needs fulfilled down there at Ray's.
Yeah, well, if you building a car, you need one.
That's right.
Get a good one. Don't cheap out and use that factory one that's designed for 135 horsepower, and you put some real power on it. Man, that's going to tear some parts up. When it comes apart, it's going to shake the back of the transmission and break the transmission off the engine.
Good times.
Yeah, buy you a good one and get that problem fixed. Even though you spend a little bit extra money on a drive shaft, you need to.
Yeah, some of these cars are trying to make stock drive shafts work, and they're about 1.5 inches, 2 inches around. But
and thin metal.
And as you're starting to add power to it, that drive shaft is the last thing you're thinking of. But as soon as it breaks, then it reminds you why you're not supposed to run them drive shafts.
And the rule is it'll work till it don't.
Yeah.
First time that thing hooks up and twists, you're going to find out what is not good.
Yep. Exactly. So Ray's drive shaft, the custom builds you a drive shaft. You just tell them what you need.
That's right. What else you got over there?
Nothing. Well, we're listening in. We're trying to come up with these names for a new race car. We've still got our 2 out of 3 match race we got to do this summer.
I think that needs to happen. If we can go down and the fuel don't leak and the brake caliper don't fall off. I've been plagued with some weird problems this year.
The Fultondale Flash versus the Flying Triangle. I can see it now.
We got a $500 up, and we're putting up for each of us to whoever's going to win this thing. So the pressure's on.
$500
per person putting up.
per person. Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna have a big class this year then.
But the trouble is, we're gonna have people fist fight and see who gets to get our $500 at the top of the. So we don't let them in the club.
Sure.
It's kind of like the guy sold his buddy a horse, and he got $100 for it, and come back. The guy says, "I want to buy the horse back." Give him $125, and it was $150 and $175. The guy, one of them, sold it to somebody, and he said, "Wait a minute, we both making a good living off that horse." All right, we're gonna go out and take a break. We'll be right back on Drag Race Central. Welcome back in to the last segment here on Drag Race Central. Landon, hook us up over there.
BP Racing Fuel. It's got 3 locations to serve your areas. You have Dodge City Collision, Gardner Performance, and Off-Road Connections.
Along with nitrous refills, you take your bottle out to Gardner Performance, and Rick will come by and pick those things up and fill your nitrous bottles up.
Right.
I'm not sure how much nitrous you need when you can't go racing, but this would be a good time. You fill you up one a week. Hey, $80 to fill one up. Whew. One thing I'm not going to do a whole lot. I'm not going to purge a whole lot. You can purge $40 worth pretty easy. Woo.
Oh yeah.
And what if the purge sticks? You lose a whole bottle of it.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it done.
Oh yeah.
I told him, 'cause the way a lot of people will purge, they'll purge the whole bottle. I said, Lewis, what you do? You have one bottle for purging and one bottle you actually use.
No, carbon dioxide. I'm going to purge me some carbon dioxide. It's like $3.
Y'all are just fill a tank up full of air and just put something in it and just psh, psh.
Yeah. Make it look good. No, I was like,
well, it's for the show.
Landon, you know what he tried to do to me when we ran the last time?
what's that?
He tried to purge his nitrous kit. Before we staged, and he says, "I'm going to blow that nitrous over in Chris's lane, just get them to shake and scare them." It didn't work. I just want you to know.
The purge didn't work. Hey, I was after him. I was going to purge, and it wasn't going to use it. And they think, boy, that's all that thing runs on nitrous. Yeah. No, the Blue Goose or whatever you call this thing, it's going to outrun a phone call when I turn nitrous on.
Flying Triangle.
Flying Triangle. That's what that thing is.
Yep.
So if I get a T-shirt made with the Flying Triangle,
Yeah, you just put a little triangle on there with some wings on it. There you go.
the wing and a prayer. I think that's what.
There you go.
That's what it'll be. Let's talk about City Auto Sales, located out in the Hueytown area.
That's right.
3075 Allison Bonnet Memorial Drive.
That's right.
Hey, Chris was amazed that I did that from memory.
The phone number there is 205-744-1119. They open up at 8:30 and they're there till 6. Keith, if you're listening in, welcome to the show. And hopefully, as we progress longer, we can get some more advertising in and get some customers in down there and talking about racing.
Hey, and let him come in and hang out with us.
Come on by. That's right. We can do a segment and be live and listening in. So, and on top of that, I think Randall says he can maybe even do a little remote from one day. So you never know.
At 6 o'clock in the morning, we do a live remote at 6 a.m. from City Auto Sales.
Yeah, and hey, we could get them down there to come do a test ride.
Get a sack full of biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, this'll work.
Do y'all have a coffee pot?
Coffee pot and some biscuits. Even I know Atlanta would come if we had some coffee.
Hey,
I'll
really?
show up. Yeah.
No, he drinks swill. There's no coffee, or actually you just cut you a section of coffee off and chew it. That's how Landon likes it.
Got a plug of coffee.
Yeah, just a pinch between your gum and cheek. That's the kind of coffee he likes.
I think we could probably put something together, maybe.
Well, he accuses me liking girl coffee.
And then the problem is, you don't even like girl coffee. You just don't like anything.
It's blonde and sweet. I like it.
There you go. Sounds good. City Auto Sales, we'll get you off your feet and put you on your seat. As you come by and see them down there. JE, all the crew, they've got a great sales team down there. And
Did you say they had about 300 cars in stock?
They got access. They've got
Okay.
another lot. That lot probably has I'm going to say close to 60 cars.
Oh,
on
okay. It's a great selection. Okay.
and probably a good 15, 20 of them are probably in trucks. So,
Okay.
but at least that, and then they've got another holding lot. It's probably got at least 3, maybe 400 on them. And so anything from a work car all the way up to your mom and M's car, girlfriend car, you name it, they've got it there.
Okay.
And you don't even have to, ask to see if they've got something there. They'll find it and get you in it that day.
Well, that is
That's too nice for what you're looking for. We're looking for you number 2 box.
I know it.
And they've got them. And number 2s, number 1s.
Hoopty. I need a hoopty. A pawpaw car. I want to go to the buffet.
Yeah. Hey, you don't want to show up in a shiny car. You need to show up in it's incarnito.
That's right. If I get
Or
something that's
Gremlin.
small enough to go in the race trailer with the race car.
You got a
Now-
Miata?
A what?
Miata?
Miata? We can lean a Miata up to the side.
Yeah.
How about a Mini Cooper? Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
It's got your name wrote all over it.
I don't know. I can't do a straight shift anymore. It has to be or the guy used to Complete Auto Care used to bring the cars to Edward Chevrolet. He lived over by Landa's grandparents, and he used to call them things. Well, I got me one of them high-phobia drives in here. I said, what are you calling a high-phobia drive? He said, that's the ones you got to swap your own gears in. It was a straight shift. High-phobia. That man just wasn't right.
No, wait. So what you're talking about is what you want is either an Abarth or or you want a smart car.
Smart
or
car?
Fiat. You want one of those 3, aren't you?
Could be.
What if you buy a smart car? Does it automatically make you smarter?
Raise your IQ level like 3 points.
Yeah.
I could be 7 then.
When you see one go down the road, I don't know if you actually.
You do know I was in the top third of the slow class in school.
Top third.
I was.
Oh, hooray!
Not top 3, top third.
Top third of slow class. That's exactly where I was. Oh well. Let's see. Do we need to do some real radio show guy stuff?
Yeah.
7:53 on a cold Saturday morning, January the 29th of 2022. The weather's going to be cold. I think it's actually going to warm up a little bit today, maybe up in the 40s.
Might get there.
It's going to be back up. It's just a little cold snap. We're going to have some rain sometime during the week. But if that surprises you, you need to wake up because this is Alabama.
And that goes back to this. When it's cold enough that you can't do anything outside, the world of wheels is nice and warm on the inside.
Acres and acres of nice show cars.
Warm on the inside. Get you a cool refreshment. Get your family. Walk around. Talk about the cars. Usually the owners of the cars are pretty close by.
And we'll love to talk to you about them.
That's what they're there for. They tell you all about the history of the assembly of the car, and there are some promoters there that promote their businesses, and they've usually got like well records in there and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They usually bring in a big record. These records are the size of a building sometimes. And,
Articulating rotators. It's got operates like a crane.
And bring the family. They got the Hot Wheel tracks down there. You can bring your family down there and do the Hot Wheel tracks. Darth Vader and them are always there walking around, and Star Wars characters. They're there. I think also the car from Back to the Future is going to be up there.
Okay.
The
DeLorean.
AMC DeLorean.
So plenty of things to see from the Hollywood that you see in the movie sets. They will be there.
Eric Estrada. Kamikaze from Street
I'm going
Outlaws.
to challenge him I'm going to challenge. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to challenge Kamikaze when I get there. Now, if he bites on it, I don't know, but I'm going to challenge him right there on the spot.
He'll bite. He's a real racer. Yeah, I'll do it. I don't care.
I'm going to challenge. If he's listening right now on the radio, the Fultondale Flash is challenging right now on the radio Kamikaze.
Huh.
Okay.
Think that'd happen in the streets of Birmingham? I don't know.
No, we're not. We're not doing the streets.
What-
We've seen what happens now. The street style racing, I'm good with a in a
Doing the back
track.
section of the track.
It might be there at the Coliseum. You just never
Ooh,
know.
hey, that slick pavement down there. Put a little water in. You talking about a hoot? Them
Yes.
floors are slick.
I never said what we're racing now. I just said I'm challenging them.
Now taking a pair of big wheels down there and pedaling across, and that's not going to be the same.
It could be. I'm going to put it in my favor. I grant you that.
I can imagine that. It's like heads I win, tails you lose.
That's right.
Wait a minute, this ain't going to work.
It's called winning.
It sure is.
So it's going to be cold next weekend. So I can tell you, bring your family, come out to the World of Wheels, and you might even meet me there. We'll be there Saturday. And
Signing autographs.
I'll have my sister Karen Ann there, so she might even try and sign an autograph. She's only good for some giggles. And Randon and Landon's going to be there, and maybe we may have some of the 405 lift racers.
205.
205.
Yep.
205 lift racers there. They might have a few of those show up.
Well, I hope so, because this is, a lot of our listeners, we're trying to do a meet and greet, 4 or 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and this is, we want everybody to come out and visit us. I'll have a Sharpie with me in case you need any body part signed.
It's very nice of you.
Well, it's just wrong. Anyway,
And if you're looking for Bobby Allison's signature,
I've been practicing all year.
you got it.
No, actually 2 years. That's been 2 years ago.
Well,
It's been 3.
you can get
3?
Giving those signatures out for free too.
Yep. I wonder if I can get $2 a piece for Bobby Allison's signature. I'll let him go for $1.50.
How much for a picture?
That may not work out good at all. My smiling face on the picture. Wow. Anyway, we want everybody to come down. The World of Wheels is the start of the car season.
That's right.
We used to you go to the car show. Friday. Hey, we went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh yeah. And when David and me, we used to go up there and we'd hang out there all day long. We just get there early and hang out all day long.
Oh yeah, because that was the thing. You see some things you don't normally see.
And meet your old friends you haven't seen.
And pick a race. We leave out from the car show. Our hot rods are with us. We're gonna get out and race till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Girlfriend, hello. Good morning.
That's it.
Sunshine.
Morning. A morning hottie. Maybe listen. I hear music in the background. We have enjoyed it. Thanks for coming in, Chris. Landon, enjoyed it again. We're going to go out and have us some breakfast. And see y'all next week on Drag Race Central. Just remember, the older I get, the faster I used to be. See y'all next week.